tarot decks that feel like summer. So in this video, I'm going to share with you a couple of tarot decks that I own. That for me, as soon as the weather gets warm weather, summer weather, hot, June, July, even the first part of August, makes me think of these decks. And some of it may be the artwork, but I really feel that these three decks may feel like summer to me because I got them and it was summertime. It was summertime when I got them. So I'm going to start with the first one. This one you saw it recently. This one I showed it. I think I talked about it recently. I think it was a deck mod that I did this winter. This one, it's Animal Wisdom Tarot by Don Brunke and illustrated by Ola Leola. I think it has another name too. I don't know what that's about, but I've seen they're the same cards, but they have a different title. These are widely available. They're really inexpensive. I love them. Mine are edged in this pink, which because of the cardstock, I don't know if you could see it, but it's a gradient. It looks like a pink gradient. It was unintentional, and I just love it. And it's an animal. It's a tarot. It's an animal tarot. I love the artwork. It's very storybook, and I think that's the appeal. There's the appeal for these decks for me in the summertime are twofold. One, they're storybook, and they remind me of my summers as a child, really being immersed in reading storybooks and then later on novels, like just being immersed in literature and storybooks and make-believe and all that stuff. So I think that's part of the appeal. And the other reason, like I stated at the start of the video, that I think I identify these three decks with summertime is because I got them in the summer. So I had gotten this, and I think all three of them, I got them in the summertime. This is a really nice tarot deck. If you're curious about like animal decks and you're thinking of getting your first animal tarot deck, and this one's really affordable. It comes in like that. I don't have the box with me here because the box kind of aggravates me because it's one of those boxes that the lid is on the side, and the cards don't fit well inside the box once you pull them out. Then I'm afraid my cards are going to get damaged. So I keep them in one of these dollar store fake silk bags. So if you're looking for an animal deck and you don't know if you like animal decks, this is a good affordable one to try. I love it. The guidebook is interesting because what it does is that what this deck does that I really enjoy is that it meshes both tarot, the tarot structure, and the animal spirits. What that animal spirit brings to the table, and it's just, I just love it. This is one of my favorite cards, but seriously, this is one of my favorite cards. I just love this. Oh my god, isn't it great? Anyway. So that's the Animal Wisdom Tarot by Don Brunke and illustrated by Ola Leola. I'll be using this deck now that the weather's warmer. And this is what the guidebook looks like inside, right? So that's really, I don't know. It's really cute. I don't use the guidebook that much, but when I do, I'm always pleasantly surprised at how good it is, without being too wordy. The next deck that, oh my gosh, okay, forgot the guidebook. I'll be back. Okay, I have it. So the next deck that I'm always drawn to in the summer. I keep in this bag. I can't remember who made this bag for me, but I freaking love it. I've had it a very long time. I used to keep my giant Rider Waite in here, but I've since gotten rid of my giant Rider Waite. I just didn't use it anymore. I used to use it when I taught tarot classes, but I haven't taught a tarot class in so long, so moved it along. All right. The next deck, I got it in the summertime, and I got it at a secondhand bookstore, and I just didn't, the cardstock, I didn't like the cardstock, I didn't like the card backs. It was like a whole, but I paid it like $6 at a secondhand bookstore, so it's not like I spent $50 on a deck, and then if I don't like the modification, then, because this was a really extreme modification, and it's this one. It's the Inner Child cards, Fairy Tale Tarot. And mine is like, the book is tabbed. This is like quite the guidebook. I cannot read this. I cannot read these cards without the guidebook. It is a deck that I use primarily, or I've only used to read for myself. This is what mine look like now. I rebacked them when I got them because they were secondhand. The backs were, they're deep blue with a yellow sun, but they were also quite chipped on the edges and on the backs, right? Which, whatever. But I really like how chunky they are. I love how chunky this deck became once I backed it with this distressed wood contact paper. This was a labor of love, people. This took weeks to complete because I would do a little bit at a time on a Saturday morning or something like that, because it's very tedious work. If any of you have rebacked a deck, it's because you really had to. I have another deck that I rebacked. I've only rebacked 2 decks, and it's because I really had to, and I really love the way this one turned out. The smell of the contact paper, that strong polyurethane or whatever that chemical smell is, that gassy smell, is finally gone. I rebacked it late last summer to early fall, and the smell is finally gone from the cards, from all that contact paper. I love what the contact paper did to the cards in terms of heft. But here's and I'll show you what some of these cards look like. I just find that I got this deck in the summertime, and there's something about the colors. There's something about the fact that it's based in fairy tale that really, for me, is really summertime. When I rebacked them, and and I cut around the cards, I found that I couldn't get a really flush cut against the card with my scissor, which I was using. I couldn't get it to cut flush, and also when you're cutting contact paper, it gums up your scissors, or imagine what it does to a guillotine. But anyway, so what I ended up doing, these cards originally had a fine white border around them. After I had backed them, I looked at them. I didn't like the fact that the contact paper kind of stuck out in some places, and it made it just horrendous. I just cut the outer border right off the card, making a nice clean flush edge, and I didn't edge them. I didn't feel like they needed edging. I think it's because there's so much going on with the borders on each card. I just like the way they look. Just didn't feel like I needed to edge them. Also, it took me weeks to get this done. I was pretty happy once they were backed. Also, I'm really happy with I've seen in other videos where people have had issues where the contact paper shrinks. Thank goodness I have not had this issue with this contact paper. And it's stuck on, so it's not like it's sliding off or anything, or peeling off. So I'm really, really happy with how this turned out. So back to, see, I look at these cards and it just, the sun, you know, I look at these cards, I hear the sound of a lawnmower in the background, the scent of, you know, warm grass, and it just brings me right back to summertime as a kid, immersed in all the books I would read and in my imagination. So this for me is definitely a summer tarot deck, and it just makes me happy. It's so busy. Like, I'm not, it's interesting. I typically don't like really busy cards, but these are large enough that they can handle the busyness. I have a full flip through on my channel of this deck. You could just look it up, Inner Child Cards. But I just wanted to share that this is number 2 of my summertime tarot decks that I look forward to working with this summer. And like I said, I need to use the guidebook for this one because it doesn't really follow Rider-Waite-Smith. Thankfully, it's heavily based in numerology, and it has, you know, the majors have the majors call back to the fairy tales they're based on. But it's a really great guidebook, and I'm not a guidebook person. The third and last tarot deck that for me, oh my god, sorry people. The third and last tarot deck that for me just screams summertime is because I got it for my birthday in 2018. And it's my Hoi Polloi. So this is, I used to have 2, and I traded one. Because I figured out that no, I don't need a backup. You know, it's kind of weird. Do you think you need a backup? I had 2 because I got one as a gift, and then the other one I got myself. And I ended up keeping the one that had the slight creases and stuff like that, just because character. I love this deck. This Rider-Waite-Smith knockoff is just my favorite summer Rider-Waite-Smith. This one, and like I said, it could be the coloration. Again, it brings me back to childhood, because this is early 1970s color palette and aesthetic. Oh, they smell so nice. They smell of sandalwood incense. Yeah, this is the one. They come in a purple box, like this really tall rectangular purple box with a guidebook. I don't use the guidebook, it's Rider-Waite. But I will use this, and because it's a Rider-Waite-Smith knockoff, pretty close. Look at this. I will use it to read for the public as well. Oh my god, look at this devil. Hot pink devil. The lovers. Let me see which other cards. So when you take a closer look, like at first glance you think, oh, it's just Rider-Waite-Smith, but when you take a closer look you realize that no, this is their own version of Rider-Waite, because here the pentacles are blue in this deck, and this lady in the 9 of Pentacles that doesn't look anything like the one in the Rider-Waite's in Pixie's deck. Oh my god, strength. So yeah, so those are my 3 tarot decks that for me are summertime. I'll eventually, I think next time I record videos, I'll go through my oracle decks and see which of my oracle decks to me are summertime. And I think I may have more oracle decks than, well, I own more oracle decks than I do tarot decks, because I'm really fussy when it comes to adopting a new tarot deck. But yeah, anyway, I'm fussing with the little tie on the bag. Alright, that's it. Those are my summertime tarot decks. I hope you found this interesting, entertaining. Oh, wait, I almost forgot. I did bring 2 decks that I think may become part of my summertime vibe. The tarot decks that have a summertime vibe. I feel that this one, the Wheel of the Year, for me has a summertime vibe, even though it represents all 4 seasons. I edged mine. I'm not so happy with this mod, because I don't like the way the orange bled onto the front of the cards. Do not recommend. But I don't know. This maybe because it also has a very fairy tale feel in terms of the artwork. It is very fae, so I don't know if, because my fae decks typically are autumn winter for me. I don't know why, but I'm going to see. I'll see if this has a summertime vibe for me. This deck surprised me. I got it because of the backs. Yeah, I got it because of the backs, but then it surprised me how well they read. So I really like them. So I'm gonna check these out to see if they have the summertime vibe. Even though I did not get them in summer, I got them in spring. But then there's something about them that I thought, oh, maybe these will. And then the other deck that I think might fit the summertime vibe that I just recently got is Daughters of the Moon. There's something about the colors, or something about the images in this deck that I feel may be a summertime vibe for me. Maybe it reminds me of the kinds of books I read later on when I was a teenager and then an early adult, young adult, in the summertime. You know, has that Women That Run with the Wolves kind of vibe, and which I'm rereading. But yeah, I'm thinking this might have a summertime vibe for me. So I'm gonna see how we get along, if it fits the summer vibe. And I have another one which I couldn't find, probably because I stored it. Probably just stored in in plain view, and in plain sight, and I couldn't see it. And it's the Vision Quest Tarot. I think that one for me also has a summertime vibe. But the first 3 I showed you, the Animal Wisdom, the Inner Child cards, and my Hoi Polloi, for me are 100% summer vibe. All right, people, that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm wishing you all a beautiful day.